Cleo Franklin Jr., President and CEO of Franklin Strategic Solutions, interviewed on the Growing Our Future podcast. Mission Matters podcast agency distributes the Growing Our Future podcast. Cleo Franklin Jr. rose his fundamental values and drive to further agriculture education to his parents. They grew up in rural America and both grew up on farms in Missouri, Mississippi, Arkansas, and Alabama. They set the example by leading and always told Franklin, "If it is to be, then it is up to me." Taking that advice to heart, Franklin has worked for 3 major global brands over the last 30 years, including John Deere, Case New Holland, and Mahindra USA. As a retired executive, Franklin is devoting his time to Franklin Strategic Solutions, where the focus is data-driven decision-making, tactical execution, and streamlined processes with a focus on agriculture. Franklin recalled his parents instilling in him the concept that to receive consideration, one must give consideration. This simple value has been carried with him throughout his life. He has been able to return this important value by sharing his business knowledge and insight throughout his career, but also through his countless hours consulting, mentoring, and advising others. This is evidence of his passion for leadership both personally and professionally, which has led to authoring books as well as sitting on a variety of organizational boards. Franklin says that he is always asking himself, how can I bring a positive impact to businesses and initiatives that will prepare the next generation of students to take on the global challenges and opportunities in the agriculture world and beyond? Transformational change in the field of agriculture will take time. There are many challenges that need solutions. Franklin gives a glimpse into them, stating that we need to innovate at a more rapid pace with less land, at every level, scarcity of water, rising input and production costs, whether an ag producer or another organization, and labor issues. People are looking for solutions today with increased food production needs and population increases. Leaders today really need to prepare and support the next generation of leaders. Franklin emphasizes the industry can amplify what has been done before. However, the need to nurture creative mindsets, existing treasures, and talents is critical to making lasting change as well as future gains in the area of agriculture and food. We all need to eat. We all rely on food, and that food is going to need to be produced, said Franklin. The companies that he works with are all trying to find out how they can bring innovative ideas to fruition. But Franklin firmly believes that the only way that this is going to happen is with people with a mindset to work with these organizations and, thinking differently, our teachers, our schools partnering with state programs, and businesses providing internships and externships to help students to be prepared. Franklin is a strong supporter of mentoring but feels that we are now at a critical stage with food production and that requires action. Sometimes, we over-mentor, we over-preach and under-support. We need to change the dynamics. We need to go from mentoring and teaching to providing experiential learning experiences that will support the future that we are trying to obtain, says Franklin. The skill sets that he outlines include being curious, creative, the ability to work with diverse teams, learn technological skills, and work without a game plan. These skills will lead to the ability to be creative and put everything together. Let's provide students the opportunity to build those capabilities and hone those skills. This helps us to help ourselves as we face this food challenge that is daunting for 2050 and beyond, emphasized Franklin. He concluded that if there are gaps in this process, that they need to be filled quickly. And more importantly, collaboration and partnership will be needed to impact and innovate change to increase progress in today's agricultural space. Franklin's final words are, keep your perspective positive, think about what you can do from your position to turn things around and transform it. We are all blessed with talents and treasures. Listen to the full podcast interview by Angelo Cruz with Cleo Franklin on your favorite podcast channel. iTunes. Spotify. Audible. YouTube. Mission Matters. In this podcast, the host covers: Cleo, what are you grateful for today? Give us a picture of your journey from all-star basketball player to a noted international agriculturalist. When you think about your career, travel, and international perspective on agriculture and food, where do you see us going, and what advice can you give a young person to be in a position to capitalize on this challenge that lies ahead of us? How do we become part of the communication chain about food security? How do we prepare students locally and abroad to face the food crisis that we are facing today? What are the opportunities that are out there that speak to the immediate relevancy about food production? If you were going to give leadership tips to young people today, what should they focus on? What are the seeds that they can plant today, that if they nurture them will become seeds of greatness? Can you share your story of humility as a student athlete with a referee at a basketball game? What's the best concert that you have ever been to? About the podcast host and guest. The Texas FFA Foundation's purpose is to strengthen agricultural education in the Texas FFA program, so each student can develop their potential for personal growth, career success and leadership in a global marketplace. Learn more about the Texas FFA Foundation at mytexasfa.org. Learn more about agriculture, food, and natural resources at https://www.tx.org/resource/agriculture food and natural resources career cluster. To learn more about Cleo Franklin Jr., visit coffeewithcleo.com. Media Communications. Mission Matters Podcast Agency distributes the Growing Our Future podcast. Inquiries, adamtours@missionmatters.com. Media contact and published by KISS PROs at kisspr.com.